'Tis the season, and in light of the holidays, I wanted to talk about my favorite Christmas movie, the Star Wars Holiday Special.
The Star Wars Holiday Special.
The Star Wars Holiday Special came out in 1978, which was a year after A New Hope had released. Pretty much all of the main cast returned for the Holiday Special, and it was supposed to be this kind of festive variety special. And it turned out infamously horrible. Like, bafflingly horrible. Ended up only airing once, and George Lucas was so ashamed of it that he's kind of devoted himself to destroying all evidence of it. It became kind of like a relic that only the biggest Star Wars fans had seen. But now we're in the digital age, and the entire thing is free on YouTube. Sorry, George Lucas. The special opens with Han and Chewie on the run from the Empire. And the central conflict of our story is that Han and Chewie need to escape the Empire and make it to Chewbacca's family in time for Life Day.
Spirit, you'll be celebrating Life Day before you know it.
Life Day is basically... I actually don't really know. They don't really explain it very well. They just keep referencing Life Day over and over again, and it's not really expanded upon. Now, you would think that since they got the whole main Star Wars cast back for this, that they would be the main focus. You would be wrong. The main characters that we follow are Chewbacca's family.
Introducing Chewbacca's family. His wife, Mala. His father, Itchy. His son, Lumpy.
None of whom speak any language that any of us can comprehend. So anytime it's just the Wookiees on screen, it's kind of like a silent film if it was written really badly and drugs were probably involved. The main character, if you can even call him that, is Lumpy, Chewbacca's son. And he looks horrifying. Oh my god, get it out of my face. Lumpy plays with death for a little bit, and then decides he's in the mood for some entertainment. So Lumpy turns on this holotable thing, and then there's this really weird dance number. Just completely out of left field. This goes on for about 2 solid minutes. Now, you might be asking, why? What was the point of that? And to that I say, it's really best just not to question any of this. Anyways, show ends and Lumpy is pleased. Chewie still hasn't arrived, so the family calls Luke to see where he is. And look, Mark Hamill tries in this, he really does, but there's this weird head-on camera angle that makes him look really creepy and insane the entire time he's talking.
Well, all I can tell you is that he and Han left here on schedule. If he's not there now, they're way overdue. Sure, there must have been trouble.
Mala, Chewbacca's wife, then contacts some other guy who says Chewbacca's on his way. Then there's a few seconds of Darth Vader, but then we're unfortunately back to our heroes. Mala puts on what seems to be a cooking tutorial, and it is so strange.
Whip, whip, stir. Come on, faster all together now. Cooking can be fun. Stir, whip, stir, whip, 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 stir. Stir, whip, stir, whip, 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 stir. Wah!
It's just that for like 3 minutes straight. That's weird, but don't worry, it gets weirder. That random dude that Mala called shows up with gifts. And Itchy, Chewbacca's grandpa's gift, is this weird VR chair thing. You know how I said a few seconds ago it was gonna get weirder? This is it. This is where it gets weirder. Itchy starts watching some ASMR video with oddly sexual undertones.
Oh, yes. I can feel my creation. Oh, we are excited, aren't we?
What is this? What is going on? Then she just starts singing.
I could live my whole life right now.
We then cut to Princess Leia and C-3PO. And the late Carrie Fisher also tries so hard with what she's given, but she wasn't given much. This scene is basically just there to reiterate that no one knows where Han and Chewie are.
You mean they haven't arrived yet?
Then, Han and Chewie finally arrive on Chewie's home planet. But the plot demands they park really far from where Chewie lives, so they have to walk, and it pads out the runtime.
So it's a long walk. Little exercise never hurt anybody.
Meanwhile, the Wookiees hear a knock at the door, and they think it's Chewbacca. But surprise, surprise, it's the Empire. Couldn't be Chewbacca. We've got 50 minutes left. The Imperials search the house, and the tension is palpable. Truly masterful cinema. But Lumpy breaks the tension by biting one of them. In their search, the Imperials find a suspicious device, and then sit down and watch a music video on it. I am not kidding. Look, I get that it's a variety special, right? But none of this makes any sense. The Imperials start being annoying, so Lumpy puts his headphones on and watches cartoons. Yes, Lumpy is an iPad kid. And that was the really poor segue into the animated segment. The next 15 minutes or so just consist of this animation. The art style's weird, but I kind of like it. But the plot of the animation has literally nothing to do with the plot of the live action part. In the animation, Leia sends Luke and the droids after Han and Chewie, who are also lost in this one, I guess. They crash land, they're attacked by dinosaurs, and they're saved by none other than Boba Fett. The Boba Fett. And keep in mind, this was a few years before Empire Strikes Back, so this is the first appearance of Boba Fett in anything. They team up, they find Han and Chewie, there's something about a medallion that they mention at some point, I think. None of this really matters at all. Boba Fett betrays them and they part ways, the end. Of the animation, that is, because now we're back to Lumpy. The Imperials trash Lumpy's room, and he goes up to clean it, but since he has the attention span of an iPad kid, because he's an iPad kid, he gets distracted by his present. It's some sort of like computer thing, and he watches a video that tells him how to build it, and that is what consists of the next 3 minutes. And now for the Cantina segment, which is also just thrown in here for some reason. It opens with a bartender being harassed, and this goes on for painfully long. The guy gets rejected, and then the Empire shuts down the cantina. And the bartender tells everyone to leave, and they don't. And then she starts singing.
Just one more song, friend.
And that's it. That whole segment was so confusing, I don't know what the point of that was. Turns out Lumpy's present was some radio transmitter, actually, and he uses it to trick the Imperials into leaving.
Return to base.
Message received and obeyed. We leave at once.
Unfortunately, a stormtrooper stays behind and finds him. Luckily though, Han and Chewie show up just in time to save the day. Then there's even a little action sequence. So you know when you're kind of walking down a hallway and someone's walking towards you and you don't want to bump into each other, so you both go to the side to try and avoid each other, but you end up going to the same side, so you almost bump into each other again and it's really awkward? Yeah, that's the action sequence basically. Chewbacca reunites with his family, and it's time for the Life Day festivities. They grab these glowy ball things, and now suddenly they're all in robes, and everyone else is there too now. Leia gives a speech, and what does she do at the end of it? I'll let you guess. She sings. She fucking sings.
We celebrate a day of peace, a day of harmony.
Because what else would she do? And that's it. That is the Star Wars Holiday Special. Without a doubt, one of the most puzzling things ever put to film. It is objectively maybe one of the worst things I've ever seen, but I will say, I think there is a charm to the absurdity of it. And I think that's why people like me are still talking about it to this day. Anyways, that's it for this video. That's about all I have to say about the Star Wars Holiday Special. Thank you for watching. Happy holidays. I'm sorry, George Lucas.
Dad, I got your voucher.
Out!
There.
I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry. We'll have him, like, burned and... Well,
I don't even know who that guy is.